Hello and welcome to day 5 of this Ramadan T10 competition at the West End Park International Stadium. We've got the last contest of the night on. It's an exhilarating contest as well between STAR CC and Tabon CC. Well, the night is young, and Star CC, I reckon, has decided to bat first after winning the toss, and we've seen loads of runs being scored here tonight, and we could be in for another run feast in this last encounter. So don't go anywhere, wherever you're seated. This promises to be an absolute extravaganza. Nikas is running in. Second ball of the over, and slightly mistimed Gopakumar. He was the star of the show in the 2022 edition of the Ramadan Cup. Looks a little bit out of sort in this competition, as you could see on that delivery as well. Not quite able to time that ball as well as you would have liked. In comes Nikas again. And this time a bit fuller, dabbed away and straight to the fielder. Comfortable single in the end. A metre or two either side of the fielder, and that ball would have raced away, fairly raced away to the boundary. The two experienced umpires out there in the middle. One of them, Inamul Haq, the ex-Qatari captain. Seasoned campaigner he is, and this time slightly down leg side, and the umpire will exercise his arms for the first time for the night. Wide given, he has to reload that one. Salim is on strike. And he comes again, and he tries to play that across the line. The fieldsman coming across from long on, short long on, and restricting that ball to a single. So it's Gopakumar back on strike. Nikas has started the proceedings for Tabon CC. And this time he tries to go straight, and slicing it to extra cover, short extra cover in the end. He kept the fielder interested for a moment, but luckily for him, he survives to live another day. It's been a bit of a struggle for Gopakumar in the second game of this competition. He was the star of the show in the first edition, as I mentioned earlier. Not quite getting into his groove so far, but cricket's a funny game. And this time, slightly short. Had nothing to do with it, Salim. Another extra, and another one that the bowler will have to reload. Nikas. He started off decent in this over so far, given away 5 runs so far. And Star CC have 6 on the board. Still early days, obviously. Then he comes again. And this time a fuller delivery and appeal for LBW. That's hit straight onto the bat. I think that's come straight out of the meat of the bat. And it could be more overthrows here, thinking about it, but turning down the idea in the end. I mean, if there was ever an appeal as ambitious as this one, you would look no further than the one on the last ball. It came straight out the meat of the bat, and yet the bowler thought he had a case. Ambitious, rather ambitious for sure. At the end of the first over, Star CC are 7 for none. It'll be interesting to see the role spin has to play later this evening under lights. We'll have to see if there's any dew on the ground as well. It becomes difficult for the bowlers to grip the ball once there is dew, of course. Particularly the side batting second might have to deal with a bit of dew. In comes Mohsin with his first ball. And right up in the block hole. He's looking for a single. This could be curtains. Well, it's really poor piece of fielding in the end. I think he really had a case. Could have taken a bit more time, gathered himself, but I think he throwed it in a rush and gave away an opportunity for a simple run out. It was an excellent piece of bowling, not giving the batsman any room at all to negotiate. And there was panic between the two batters who set up for a single, which was never quite on there, but an opportunity gone begging. And this time it was wide outside the off stump. He had the opportunity to chance his arms. There was a fieldsman out there, still early signs of sloppiness in the field. There was a straightforward chance, should be taken at any level, I guess, because it was coming straight into him. But guess what? He spilled it. 2-2, Star CC riding their luck early in the game. And he comes again, and he's maintained that length really well, but it's gone through everyone. It's gone through the keeper. It's beaten the man at the fine leg as well, and it's gone through for a 4. Well, they're certainly riding their luck, our Star CC. They might as well consider changing their names to Star Lucky CC tonight. Mohsin would consider himself immensely unlucky in this over. Created opportunities for the fielders. And then the good old French cut. Once again, keeping it up. Right up in the block hole, fuller length. Another single. It's been a high scoring competition, this one so far, with teams scoring in excess of 100 almost every game. And mind you, this game may not be any different. And once again, his head is falling over a little. His body balance is all over the place at the moment. Trying to bludgeon that ball through the onside. His head obviously falling over slightly towards offside. His foot pointing towards mid-on. In no shape really to play that shot. Mohsin with the last ball of this over. And he comes again, and within the line of the stumps there is protection down to the boundary. So it'll only be a single to end the over. Star CC are 16 for none. Well, talking about T10 cricket, every ball is an event, and we had quite a few moments, quite a few extraordinary moments in the last over already. Close calls, a run out, a streaky boundary. We've seen a bit of everything. And this time it was onto his body. He couldn't quite execute it, couldn't quite time it as well. And dare I say again, another run-out opportunity. Had that ball hit directly onto the stumps, that would have been wicket number 1. But as I mentioned earlier, Star CC have the rub of the green running their way tonight, that's for sure. And right up in the block hole, that's been the pattern for the night as far as TAPROBANE's bowling is concerned. They've kept it within the line of the body most of the time, asking questions from the batsmen, and they've generally done well. You know, they've only been let down by their fielding, so to say. But despite that, I don't think it's a bad start for the bowling side, restricting the opposition to 18 for none in 2.2. Once again, keeping it up there. It missed the stump by a whisker. Very, very close to the stumps. Another example of the length these bowlers are trying to execute on this surface. Typical T10 length, I would say. I won't be surprised if a few slower deliveries come out soon as well. And this time was a bit short. He missed his mark by a margin, and it's gone straight into the boundary ropes for a massive 6. Magnificent stuff there. He smoked it, absolutely smoked it. Well, he missed his length just by a margin. It was slightly short, and that was just what the batsman needed. And just what the doctor ordered, I would say, for Star CC. Full toss, and he's creamed that ball through the offside. Through the extra cover it goes, and it's a boundary after a 6 here. So momentum running Star CC's way. Too short, too full, overcompensating. Not quite good enough. The batsman was ready for it. And once again, a foolish delivery. He's guided that ball. A bit of touch there, a bit of class. It was brute force. Last delivery, this ball, he's realized it was just slightly outside the off stump, using the pace, guiding that delivery, beating the fielder, and the second consecutive boundary of the over, 6-4-4. It looks like a telephone number already. So exactly what the doctor ordered as far as Star CC is concerned in the last over of the power play. 16 runs conceded in that last over. And Star CC are certainly on the go here. Momentum their side at the end of the power play. Is it time for spin? No, not yet. They're happy, quite happy to continue with the pace, medium pace. Chanaka is the new bowler. We'll have to see what field he's got for Gopakumar. There's a third man going back. There's a long on, long off as well. Square leg. And once again, losing his shape, his head, and you know he was down the pitch and almost another run out on the cards. Just looks in no sort of rhythm at all tonight. He's got that vacant deep point region. There's hardly anyone there. I mean, there is a fielder at backward point, but nobody patrolling the area at the deep region. There is a deep extra cover in place, but nobody is deep at deep point. Deep mid wicket now is going back. So it's going to be straight and full, my guess. Yep, straight and full, and well, nicely played, I would say, by Gopakumar in the end, realizing that fielder's gone straighter towards mid-wicket. So rather than forcing his way through the mid-wicket, he guides that ball, displays it with the swing, times it, and earns himself his first boundary. I will give him a lot of confidence. That was exactly the area where the fielder was taken from. So smart cricket, it has to be said. It was always going to be full and straight with that field in place. So it boiled down to the short selection, which was good in the end. Really good, I would say. And this time, wide outside the off stump, there is deep extra cover in place, so only a single. He's starting to get a bit of rhythm back. He's starting to time the ball well as well after a few early nerves and struggles. And this time wide outside the off stump. He's smashed it away once again, but there is protection down at the boundary. He's looking good, is Salim. That ball was wide, allowing him to chance his arms, and he was happy to oblige. Using his feet, coming down the ground, and once again that ball landing short of the short extra cover fielder. He got to the pitch of that delivery, but didn't go through with his shot in the end. Star CC obviously won their first game of the competition against Al Asnad CC. And this time it was not a bad delivery actually, you know, pitched within the stump. It was a risky stroke, has to be said, but don't blame him for playing that shot in this format. Either side of that fielder at point, and that ball would have fairly raced away to the boundary. As it turns out, only a single of that delivery, and at the end of 4, Star CC are 40-4-none. It's 40-0-4. We yet to see any sixes in this game, and I think this is the point where it gets really interesting because the spinners will have a role to play, and it often turns out to be a turning point in games with the introduction of spinners, wickets falling, run rate being controlled. Left arm of the wicket, and we were just talking about wickets, and that's exactly what spins produced once again. How often do we see this? Batting team carrying the momentum, having an excellent power play, and then suddenly, with an introduction of a spinner, a wicket falls. They're as good as gold, these spinners these days, and I remember at the time when T20 cricket and even T10 cricket started, people didn't give spin much of a chance. But here we are tonight discussing how important spin has become in this format of the game in particular. It certainly requires you to have a particular skill set as a batsman to be able to play well. Back in the day, we had the likes of Javed Miandad and Sunil Gavaskar, who were excellent players of spin, using their feet, having the sweep shot, using the crease well as well, going back and going forward. And the basics of the game, I would say, remain the same. But obviously, it's rare to see and find that kind of skill set in today's day and age. Right, the new batsman in is Fairuz and Mulshan. And again, he tries to bludgeon that delivery down the ground. The first ball he faces, the feel as these cricketers playing T10 cricket, they don't care if a wicket has fallen, and that should really be the case as well. It's gone up in the air. There's a fieldsman coming underneath it. He's probably made a meal of it. He's lost it in the lights, and that might roll away to the boundary. No, he's just been able to cut it back in, but he's made an absolute mess of that one. For a moment, we thought it was going to be bread and butter coming straight into his palms, but he just lost it in the light. Charith, was it? Usually a very safe fielder, safe house. And he goes again, outside edge, but there is protection at short third man. We'll have to see what fielding they've got for Fairuz. They've got deep extra cover, long leg, I beg your pardon, long on and long off in place, deep mid-wicket. Again, using his feet, he's powered that ball and nicely fielded in the end, has to be said by Charith, making amends on this occasion. He had a bit of ground to cover, and that ball had legs on it for sure. So what are his options here? He's new to the crease, and he doesn't want to play too many dot balls to start with, and he's in no mood of playing any dot balls at the moment. Brilliantly fielded at the boundary. He had to cover a bit of ground there, the fielder, but he went around and certainly stopped a few runs for his team there. Star CC with the introduction of spin losing their first wicket, and they're 45 for 1 at the end of 5. Seems to favor that offside region, does Fairuz. First few deliveries he's faced, he's tried to go inside out, almost collecting a couple of boundaries, but it was courtesy, good effort in the field, that they were only restricted to a few runs. Well, this is interesting to see. I mean, TAPROBANE CC is usually known for their spin attack, and even when they play domestic leagues in Qatar Cricket Association, they tend to go spin heavy, which is, I must say, usually the case with sides from Sri Lanka. But in this particular game, they seem to go pace heavy, and although they've picked up a wicket with the spinner, they've decided to resort to pace again. And outside the off stump, he tries to have a slash at it. Beaten all ends up. Raheem's once again, and one bounce to the fielder who fumbles it. Regathers and throws that ball back to the keeper. So just a single in the end. So a good start, I would say, by Raheem. 6th over in progress. He would like to tighten the screws here and minimize scoring. Singles and doubles at this stage won't really hurt. Once again, Gopakumar goes onside. Once again, finds the fielder looking for the second. Decides against it. We were mentioning sixes earlier so far. We're yet to see the first six of the innings. But the run scoring has been fine. 47 in 5.3. As we speak, I think that's really good. That's a smart move by Rahim. He's realized Ferouz has the tendency to go extra cover, so he's got a fielder back there now. It's gone up in the air. Is there a fieldsman coming underneath it? Oh, it's missed him. To call that a 6 would be rather insulting. That's a 10 for the T10. It went sky high and out of sight for a moment. And the fielder fancied his chance. We were thinking about a 6, and we've got a wish coming our way right away. This time a bit streaky, and Gopakumar riding his luck once again. This is probably the 4th time he's given up the ghost. He wasn't really interested in making the ground, not sliding his bat either. But once again, the fielder missing the stumps, and an opportunity gone a begging. A big appeal for LBW, going down leg side once again. He's doing everything he could to get out tonight. Playing those out of shape shots. Trying to run himself out as well. But it's just been that kind of a night for Gopakumar. I think he's signaling towards the dressing room. He probably wants new gear, new equipment for himself. So often it happens for you as a batsman. I mean, you only need one ball, really, one good ball to get out. But sometimes you'd have luck going your way, and you'd ride it, just like Gopakumar has been doing. But his strike rate is a bit alarming at the moment. His batting on 12 of 12 run a ball is just not good enough in T10 cricket. So he's got to do something about it. As we see the big score card on this beautiful West End Park International Stadium. As we speak, Charith has been introduced into the Charith has been introduced into the attack. And helped on its way. It was wavered down leg side. All he had to do on that occasion was to get a bit of bat on it, and that's exactly what it did. The ball racing away towards the final leg boundary. And Ferouz is on the move here. A 6 in the last over, a 4 in this one. It's a dangerous customer, is Ferouz. And overcompensating on that occasion. One down leg side, the other one way outside the off stump, and Charith is in an unforgiving mood tonight. You know, he's not going to take any prisoners anyways. There is so little margin for error in this format of the game. You go marginally wrong and you will get punished. Charith under pressure. Can he make it 3 and 3? Third ball coming up. He is ready. And he goes straight down the ground. You little dynamite, Ferouz. 2 boundaries and a 6. He is bringing this game alive for Star CC. That was absolutely hammered. For a moment I thought somebody could have caught that. Somebody working for Qatar Airways, I guess. And Sanity returns after those 3 boundaries. Just a single. Only a single. And that at the moment for Tabon CC is as good as gold. And keeping Ferouz off strike as well is so important for them. That want Gopal Kumar to face as many deliveries as possible. And down that side, there's a big appeal for LBW. They've run through for a leg by. But ominous signs once again for Tabon CC as Ferouz has returned to strike. 4, 6, 1. This has been a big over. A massive over so far for Star CC. They needed 1 at this stage. And he goes straight down the ground. Has he found the gap? No, the fieldsman coming across and he'll cut that one off, just restricting it to a single. So after a big over, Star CC are 71 for 1 at the end of 7. Right, it's interesting. Tabon CC opting to return to a bit of spin here. It seems that they've only got 1 spinner in the side tonight, and how they wish they had more. After the first over, he bowled. Picked up a wicket in the first over, gave away only 5 runs. It's quite questionable why they haven't got more spinners tonight. Down leg side, trying to bowl too fast, realizing Ferouz is on the offensive, on the onslaught. Once again trying to keep it away from Ferouz, bowling it wide of the off stump. Good piece of running there, excellent running. Gopal Kumar realizing Ferouz has to be on strike, so willing to sacrifice his wicket for yet another time tonight. And he goes through extra cover once again. Is that an opportunity? Oh, you betcha it was an opportunity, but it's evaded the fielder slightly. A diving effort, a valiant effort in the end. But it's gone rolling 1 bounce over the boundary as per the umpire for a boundary. He's strong in that region. Very, very strong through extra cover. Where will he go again? Straight down the ground. Extra cover. Deep point. This time goes mid-wicket. Just a single. .3 overs gone, 79 for 1 Star CC, eyeing a score of above 100 tonight, that's for sure. Gopal Kumar this time goes over the top and he smoked it. He's absolutely smoked that one. The art of sending leather into orbit. Elite and explosive. He's finally found some mojo here, has Gopakumar. And this time a bit short, and he tried to go through extra cover once again. The length wasn't really there for him to play that kind of a shot. Last ball of the over. They're looking for the second. And they've gone for the second, and it could be another run out here, but the keeper has completely missed that one. Has he missed it? No. It seems they've finally got one. Yes, they have. Gopakumar is making his way back to the pavilion. For a moment we thought the keeper had made a meal out of that one once again. But it seems that he was able to collect it and take the bails off at the right time. Right, the new batsman is out there in the middle. Gopakumar finally, after several chances this evening with runouts and catches, has got one throw with his name on it, and he's had to go back to the pavilion. So the last two overs coming up of Star CC's first innings. They're 86 for 2, eyeing a target of around 110. And he goes through mid-wicket once again, mistiming that one, but he'll come back for the second quite comfortably in the end. He's playing a gem of a knock here is Feroz. 36 he's got of just 17 deliveries, providing the much-needed impetus to this innings. Can he finish strong? As far as Star CC is concerned, he's got to stay out there. And this time it was a tired shot, that back leg collapsing a little bit. Not able to time that ball as a result, and just a single. The kind of result that Tabon CC would have been hoping for, as that brings the new batsman Bukhari on strike, who's marking his guard. His plan should really be to get off strike, get a single, and get Feroz back on strike. Well, he's in no mood to get anyone back on strike. Well, you don't have to. You don't really have to when you can hit the ball that well. Sky high and out of sight. A 6 that defines the T10 fight. He's announced his arrival at the crease, and he's announced it in style. Straight down the ground he went, held his pose, and looked as if he's done nothing at all. It just seems so easy on the eye. It was up there, up in the block hole, but it's wide. He's got an opportunity to free his arms. Once again, slicing it through point for a boundary. So it's turning out to be a strong finish here for Star CC of this innings. But these are proper cricket shots. Good shots, really. Not trying to slog it at all. Treating the ball on its merit. He played it straight down the ground when he first came in. The ball was there to be hit. Once again, helping the ball on its way when it's outside that off stump. And this time it was a touch short. And he was in the mood to hit it somewhere in the middle of Doha. Not quite getting the connection, but the idea was right once again. He's looked $1 million, has Bukhari, ever since he's made his way out in the middle. And this time, I don't think he's timed it, but there is a short boundary out there, and there is no fieldsman patrolling that deep square leg region. It wasn't timed, though, so it didn't have the legs to get to the boundary. Yet, they come back for the second, and Star CC at the end of 9th are 101 for the loss of 2 wickets. So the last over of the innings coming up. Star CC, they're eyeing a big finish here. They've got the right people out there in the middle in Bukhari and Fairuz. They're dictating terms, upping the ante just at the right time. And could it be a strong finish for them? Mohsin to bowl the last one for TAPROBANE. And a full toss, low full toss. He hasn't quite timed that one. And in fact, he's ended up hitting it straight into the fielder's hand at deep, long off, and he has to walk back for a brilliant, shall we say, 39 of just 19 deliveries. He really would be very, very happy. His captain would be very pleased with him as he walks his way back to the pavilion. An absolute gem of an inning, this. Just what the doctor ordered for Star CC, and Fairuz has delivered. One can't help but get the feeling that Fairuz did do the job he was sent out there to do, and provided that much needed momentum to his side. And now it's up to Nawaz and Bukhari. Nawaz just making his way out in the middle, doesn't have many sighters to start with. Nobody does in T10 cricket. And does he need any sighters? He's hit that straight down the ground. Has it been taken? Yes, it has. It looked like not a bad shot, really, first up. And the idea was right. It was up there to be smashed. Not quite getting the distance onto that one, but perishing in the cause. And that's the nature of the game, nature of T10 cricket. So 2 quick wickets for Mohsin in this over, and could we see the first hat-trick of the Ramadan T10 Tournament 2025 hosted by Qatar Cricket Association? we could as well see that, because the new batsman will be in no mood to block this delivery, that's for sure. So an excellent opportunity for Mohsen to be on the board with a hat-trick. And he slashed it away. Unlucky was Mohsen on that occasion. Could easily have been sliced to either short third man or point. As it turned out, went one bounce to that fielder at short third man. Right, so it's Bukhari on strike. Has played a few magnificent shots in this over, in the last over, I beg your pardon. And up in the block hole, trying to go for the helicopter. He's mistimed it, but he's beaten the fielder at short extra cover. They're coming back for the second. They do so quite comfortably. It's all happening here at the West End Park International Stadium, Doha, Qatar. We've seen boundaries, wickets, excellent fielding, particularly ground fielding, catches being taken. It's absolute cinema, this. Absolute cinema. And talking about cinema, how about that? Nobody moves. It's going, gone. Full toss, just at the right height. Didn't have to do much. Timed it. And these are very, very short boundaries, must I say. Another full toss. Don't think he's timed it as well. But it falls in no man's land. They've come back for the second. They're looking for the third. And they're running for the third as well. Is that a run out? Yes, I think it probably is. The dreaded finger of the umpire goes up, and it's a wicket to finish for Tabon CC. So they finish on a high, but 112 by Star CC is going to be a stiff target to chase under lights here tonight. You do get the feeling this is probably a par score under lights, but you never know. In T10 cricket, all it requires is a couple of good overs, and Tabon CC certainly has the firepower to chase this target down tonight. Right, so we've got the innings break coming up in a couple of minutes. And as soon as we have news from the dugout, we'll be back with Tabon CC's chase. So wherever you are, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We are in for an absolute belter of a match tonight. Right, so it's all in readiness here for the second innings for the night. Tabon CC against Star CC. Tabon chasing 113 for victory in this last game of the T10 Ramadan Cup 2025, hosted by Qatar Cricket Association. And we've got an absolute extravaganza of a game on our hands tonight, with both sides with plenty of stardom in their ranks. Amila to take the strike for Tabon CC. First ball, full toss, and he has a shy at the stumps, does fielder, almost an overthrow, but they'll be happy with a single to start with. Jamon starting the proceedings for Star CC. He has the knack of picking up early wickets. So often he does that for Star CC, opening the bowling slow, medium, fast, I beg your pardon, over the wicket. And down leg side he goes this time. Very little margin for error. And that gives Gayan an opportunity to open his account. Help on its way. Going down leg side, all he had to do was get a little bit of a clip onto that one. So he did. And it bisected the two fielders at fine leg and square legged perfectly. Off the mark, Gayan, first ball. This is an excellent start. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, don't go anywhere. We're in for an absolute belter of a competition here tonight. Down the ground he goes, and there's a big appeal, a huge appeal for LBW. The dreaded finger of the umpire has gone up. He does that so often with the new ball, does Jamon. He can be deceptive, can be deceptively slow through the air, and is yet again pick up a wicket in his first over. Gayan would be terribly disappointed with that shot. He'd got on the boundary of that over and then dancing down the track, having his dancing shoes on. The ball not quite there for him to hit through the offside. He had to extend, reach out for it. Wasn't just good enough. Of the faintest of the edges, and he had to go back to the pavilion. Early breakthrough for Star CC. The new batsman is marking his guard. A dot ball to start with. The umpiring standards in this T10 Ramadan Cup competition have been excellent so far. Seasoned umpires operating at both ends, making informed decisions. There seems to be a bit of a delay at the moment. And this time it was slightly short. He tried to guide that ball and tried to bisect those two fielders between third man and point. Couldn't quite find the gap, but he's off the mark for sure. 5 for 1. They need that momentum early on. They need to up the ante. Jamon, he's on the board. First wicket, first over. Oh, he slog swept that one, and he's hit that right into the grandstands for a 6. What a sight. What a magnificent shot that is. Typical T10 cricket at the end of one. TAPROBANE are rolling 12 for 1. We've been talking about short boundaries, but mind you, that would have cleared a lot of the grounds around the world. The biggest of the grounds. It was hit so well. Slog sweep. Whenever it comes off, it looks so good. Gives you that adrenaline rush. And brings about a very, very satisfying feeling, I should say, if you're a batter. It's quite rare as well to see a batsman hitting a slog sweep against a medium-paced bowler, so it does bring that element of content when you're able to pull off one like that. Sunny, in the meantime, is going to operate from the other end, and Rahim is the batsman. Full and slightly outside that off stump. Any kind of bat on that, and the ball could have probably rolled away to the boundary. As it turns out, it's a dot ball, another dot ball. Dot ball is worth gold at the moment. We'll have to see what field they've got for Rahim. They've got a man back at deep long off. Another man at deep point. Nobody at extra cover or fine leg at the moment. In he comes again, and that ball probably holding on the pitch a little bit. It was short, so he certainly had the opportunity to flex his arms, but the ball stopping on him a little bit. Did the bowler probably roll his fingers over it? Was it slightly slower off the pitch? Who knows? Or is there a bit of a demons in the pitch already starting to come in? There could be an element of that. There has been no dew so far tonight, and that's good news if you are a bowling side. And he comes again, and once again, I think he's bowling those cutters. So it does seem a bit short, and it obviously makes the batsman fancy that mid-wicket region. He would feel that there is sub there to be hit, but that ball's holding on the surface just because of the fact that the bowler is rolling his fingers over it. Smart bowling, has to be said. 3 consecutive dot balls in this over. He's eyeing that leg side once again, the fielder. And once again he's beaten on that off stump. I think he's probably playing those premeditated shots, and it's good that Amila is having a word with him at the moment. He needs to. Probably telling him to play with a straighter bat or probably get off the mark, get to the other end, the way Amila's hitting them. He's the right man to be on strike, that's for sure. Once again, slightly short, and it's another. For a moment I thought this was another dot ball, but he'll have to reload that one. This time way too wide. But the shot selection is quite questionable once again. Once again, he was trying to slug that, heave that ball across the line. It wasn't there to be hit. And it's gone up in the air. Is that an opportunity? No, it lands in a no man's land. In fact, it's gone rolling down to the boundary for 4. Streaky shot once again, lucky. But they wouldn't really mind how they come at this stage. They need runs, and runs are what matters in T10 cricket. He hasn't really learned his lessons, has he, from the previous shots, Rahim? But this time the bowler was slightly fuller, and it was in his arc. And the trend for this over continues. Another slog, an aimless slog down the leg side, another dot delivery. At the end of second, TAPROBANE are 17 for 1. Right, this is interesting then. Spin in operation early inside the power play. We saw how it brought about a wicket in Star CC's innings. It's left arm over the wicket, almost a wicket in this inning as well. Left arm around the stump and immediately putting the brakes on the scoring. I'm talking about how imperative it is to be able to score runs against spin in this competition. And this time he was slightly short, providing the batsman the width to free his arms, and he's carved it through the offside for a boundary. This time much more conventional, much more like it. Was slightly short on that occasion, the bowler. Dabbed away for a single. That's good. Got to keep rotating the strike. Hit a boundary, get off strike. And this time is hit that through the onside. There is protection down at the boundary. Deep square leg fielder coming across, cutting that one off. So they're 24 for 1 at this stage. They will probably be eyeing a couple of big overs at this stage. Short once again, not getting any timing onto that one. An opportunity did present itself once again in that last delivery. It's so important that you put away those bad deliveries once they come your way. Rahim on that occasion wasn't able to. TAPROBANE are reeling at the minute, 24 for 1 in 3. Seems like it's Bukhari to continue with this second and the last over of this innings. I beg your pardon. And a streak he had. You would consider himself lucky on that occasion, but there is no man patrolling that third man area, so it will run away for another boundary. I remember the last ball he bowled of his first over, there was a boundary down to third man, another boundary down to that region, and it was the same batsman on strike. So I think what he's decided to do now is have that third man back. And this time he was slightly short, much more conventional looking short there, looked so pretty. Getting on top of that ball and rolling his wrist over it, keeping it along the carpet. Don Bradman would be proud of that. And this time he was eyeing that onside, an opportunity for a run out, and bullseye. We've finally seen one hitting the wickets. That was right on target, and that would obviously make the likes of someone like Jonty Rhodes proud as well. He had one stump to aim at on that occasion, an awkward angle, and bingo! He hits it right on money. It's amazing the difference a good piece of fielding like this can make to your innings. A couple of good catches here and there, a good run out like that one can go a long way. We saw in Star CC's innings early on, TAPROBANE missed quite a few opportunities. Quite a few run out opportunities early on, which they had to pay a price for later on. Feroz was given a life when he first arrived at the crease, and then he scored a quick fire 39 of just 19 deliveries. And it brings the team alive as well. Oh, a bit of late movement. So he checked his shot. He had to. Just at the last second. Amila. A bit of shape back into him. What are his options here? Where does he go next? Trying to pull that one. There is protection out there and deep mid-wicket, so only a single. Bukhari continuing in his merry ways and bowling yet another economical over here. And this time it was way outside that off stump. He'll have to reload that one. I think he's obviously realized that there is a chink in the armor as far as these TAPROBANE batters are concerned, particularly with lines outside that off stump, and that's where they're targeting at the moment. This time guiding that ball down to the third man. Just a single, no damage done. TAPROBANE moving on to 25. 25 for 1 at the end of 3. Right, so that's the end of the power play. We've got a new bowler being introduced here with Amila on strike. He's gotten off to a bit of start here. He's 8 of 4 and he needs to up the ante. And this time touch short, a bit of gas there. That ball ripped off the wicket. That definitely did come off once it pitched on the pitch. Straight down the ground. He hasn't really got any timing on it. It's beaten the fielder, but there is protection and backup at the boundary, so it only beat 2. No real timing on that occasion. And this time it was short, not getting any timing on it, an opportunity for a run out, but deciding not to throw at that end, probably realizing that there was no backup there. Samil on strike, and he's got a piece of it, has he? He's gone straight down the ground. He hasn't quite got the distance. And it's been gleefully accepted by the fielder at long on. TAPROBANE losing another wicket right at the wrong time. And it seems that they're staring down the barrel with their second wicket down here. It's the set man as well, Amila, who's having to make his way back at the middle, back to the pavilion. So just when a partnership was beginning to develop, Star CC coming up with a breakthrough, getting the set batsman out, and a 36 for 2 with 3 wickets down. Tabon CC are certainly staring down the barrel. This is a steep task ahead of them. Required run rate of 14.4, so they need a couple of big overs here. And great pace once again. You can see he's bending his back here and is getting a lot of purchase of the pitch. One of the fastest for sure on show tonight. One of the fastest in this game. And he comes again. And no timing onto that one at all. Another attempt to hit that ball across the line. That's been the pattern of the night so far for Tabon CC. And not surprisingly so, they haven't had much success. At the end of 5, they are 36 for the loss of 3. Star CC, they've played good cricket all throughout the night. Went out there to bat and got a decent total on the board, and they looked really good with their fielding when they came out to field. 1 run out, a couple of good catches being taken, so it seems they've got their ducks in order. as far as this tournament is concerned. And they've got a wicket taker in this spinner. This time it was slightly short. Once again, a streaky short. Haven't really been able to find the sweet spot of the bat. The TAPROBANE batters all throughout the night. And his bowling has gone right through the gate. You miss, I hit, bowling straight. And once you do that, you have every chance of picking up a wicket. I think we've got the scoreboard back on the reckoning. So thank you very much to the support staff at the back end. Sorry, this does seem like we are still working on fixing the scoreboard at the minute. In the meantime, let's go back to the live action. We've got a new batsman on strike here in Hansa, and Star CC are running away with the show here. It's off the mark, first ball. Just talking about the dismissal a couple of balls ago. It was a straight delivery, kept a little bit low perhaps, but a wild heave. We'll get back to that, and the pattern for the night continues once again. It was an almost an action replay of that shot we saw a couple of balls ago, the wicket. And yet again, they would probably benefit from increasing the range of shots that they've got. Some of these batters here tonight, if they are to go ahead in this tournament, the teams will work you out. Oh, another opportunity here for stumping. The finger goes up. It was dancing down the track. It was nowhere close to the line of the delivery. A wild swing yet again, and it was a simple piece of work for the keeper to complete. Talking about the broadcast evidence that the teams have these days, they have their experts watching the games. The analysis show is constantly on. And people can work you out very, very quickly. So far in this innings, we've seen Tabon CC's batters have preferred that onside area. And they've looked very, very one-dimensional, one has to say, with their shot selection. So the end of 6 overs, as we can see on the scoreboard. Oh, this time the batsman goes down the ground. There is no fieldsman down there at the boundary, and he will pick up a boundary. A much needed boundary at this stage as the score moves on to 43. The required run rate, though, is 18.3 at the moment, a huge one. Again, trying to repeat that shot, but beaten all ends up. Once again, it beat the keeper as well, but good piece of footwork by the man at the fine leg. Still inspired by the 2022 Football World Cup Qatar. Nicely played. More of a 50 over kind of shot, though. That the one for the purists, but they would need much more than that tonight if they are to stand any chance of a comeback in this game. As per the scorecard, we have access to the current run rate is 6.9. Required has gone up through the roof, 19.4. Mistimed has been the name of the game so far tonight for Tabon CC, hitting the toe end of the bat. Seems they haven't got any fielders. Fine, no third man, no fine leg in place. There is deep point, deep square leg, long off, long on, and a deep mid wicket. I think that's exactly the reason why they've set that field here, because the batters are in no mood to use any finesse to get boundaries square of the wicket on either side. They're trying to muscle every ball down the ground or through mid wicket, but they've got those areas covered as Star CC. It's Sharif on strike, and he's cleaned him up there. You miss, I hit, bang on target. What a sight for the fast bowler. Hit the top of off stump, and he's been rewarded for some excellent discipline here tonight. Yet another shot across the line, yet another miss, and yet another wicket. It's been the story of the night so far for Star CC, as they're looking down the barrel here at the end of the 7th over. They are 46, and they've got more than half their side back in the hut, 6 wickets down. I think it's a matter of formality now. 3 overs remaining, 4 wickets left, and the required run rate is certainly gone through the ceiling, 22.3. So they'll need a record chase here, something extremely special and out of the ordinary to stage chances of any kind of comeback at this stage. It's going to be spin again in Salim. Down leg side, wide to start, but they're in the mood to finish it really quickly, our Star CC. It's going to be really important as well. Important because it will boost their net run rate in this tournament. And at a league stage, this is so important. as it can get quite tight sometimes between teams running for the quarterfinal spots. So the right move, I think, by Star CC, trying to wrap this game up as quickly as possible. You want to stay ahead in the tournament. You want to maintain a healthy run rate, a healthy average, and that is exactly what the captain of Star CC is thinking at the minute. Oh, he's got the connection on that occasion, and he's hit that in the middle of Doha somewhere. Forget about that. We aren't getting that ball back anytime soon. Bring a new one, please. It was a long time coming for Tabon CC. It might seem like a consolation, but a 6 nonetheless, something to smile about. Once again, trying to repeat that shot as he found the gap. No. It would be a bit of a confidence booster, I think, for Tabon CC if they are able to hit a few runs at the late stage of this innings. They've still got 2.3 overs to go. Try and get as close to the target as possible, because they don't want to fall behind that net run rate too much as well at this stage. A stumping opportunity there. There's an appeal, a reluctant one, so to say. It did seem like a stumping opportunity though for a minute. The new batsman, it seems, is Mohsin. He seems like a genuine tail-ender. Right, so it's so important in a tournament like this to get those small victories psychologically. Losing by a smaller margin instead of a bigger one, for example. Boosting your net run rate. So you're never out of the game, really. Even if you are to stare at defeat in the eye at times, you probably want to score those small victories and move ahead in the tournament in the larger interest of it, so to say. Just recapping what has happened this evening so far, we did mention the impact the spin will have to play. There was a bit of an impact in Star CC's innings when the slow left-arm orthodox spin was introduced. There was a wicket first ball. And you saw in this inning as well, spinners had their say, and there were lots of dot balls. Tabon CC batsmen struggled to put bat and ball. Another key difference was the shot selection. I think Star CC batters will get back to that. Slow delivery and another wicket falls. Kumar nowhere near that ball, playing way too early. And as a result, losing his off stump and going back to the pavilion. We were talking about a key difference between two sides in terms, I mean, there have been quite a few differences, starting with the fielding. There were quite a few opportunities created early on in Star CC's innings, but the Tabon fielders not accepting those, and as a result paying the price. On the other hand, we saw an excellent run out at the start of this innings by Star CC. That was one telling difference between the two sides. Another difference was the shot selection, for sure. We'll come back to that after this delivery. That's gone high up in the night sky. Could be another wicket. No, he's dropped it, almost lobbing it over for a 6. Just when we were praising their fielding, there's a dropped catch. The commentators curse, as they would call it. Anyways, in general, I think we were mentioning the shot selection. And you can see in TAPROBANE's innings, most of their batters have just preferred to use their bottom hand and swing down leg side, whereas when you witnessed Star CC's innings, their batters played conventional cricket shots straight down the ground through the offside. Cover drives, once again, swinging through the hip. You don't need that much power to crack a cricket ball out of the ground. All you need is good timing and balance. Perhaps a tighter upper hand rather than a stronger bottom hand. Having said that, it's easier said than done. Your muscle memory, which is developed in early parts of your years, as we see that ball goes for a boundary, it's more of a consolation at this stage, really, for Tabon CC. But yeah, it's not that easy. Having knowledge about shots and how to play is one thing; execution totally another. As your muscle memory, your fitness, your balance. All these things have a huge role to play. And you might as well be very well informed about a game, but not as good when it comes to executing your knowledge out in the middle. Unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with your early development as a cricketer. The way you started playing the game, your muscle memory, all has a huge role to play. Right, so the last over of the game coming up. Tabon CC 67 for the loss of 7 wickets. Are almost out of this game now. And only a miracle can give them any chance of any kind of comeback here. 46 required of the last over, and the last time that happened was never. We can certainly enjoy shots like that. We were talking about proper cricket shots. Here's one of them. Didn't really try to bludgeon it. Only timing. And showing that ball the direction, and it's fairly... It has got a fair amount of distance on it. Gone for a 6. I mean, we saw the difference it makes. We were talking about conventional cricket shots in the last over. We finally got one from a Tabon CC batter. And it did seem like he didn't try to hit it very hard. Yet, the result was great. And once again, the bottom hand taking over. That muscle memory we were talking about taking over. Just a single on that occasion, but... he would have enjoyed that 6. The crowd must have enjoyed it as well. Once again, a slower delivery. Beating the batter all ends up. Star CC is their second game of the tournament, and it seems there will be 2-2 at the end of this one. Strong start to the tournament. It's a tough group, this one. It's got some really strong sides in it as we see that ball rolling away for another boundary. So they're having a bit of fun, these two batters, in this last over, which is good to see. But yeah, this is the group of death, and every win matters, and the margin of win as well. So the last ball coming up, and befittingly, it ends the way it's been for most part of this inning. A swing across the line, goes through to the keeper, a dot ball, and it's resulted in a huge victory here for Star CC, their second of the tournament, and it's been quite a convincing one. They won the toss, decided to bat first, got a par score on the board as well, 112. And then they fielded brilliantly, bowled to their plans, and they look like one side which has got lots of variation. They've got good slower bowlers, faster bowlers who could bowl cutters, and also a fast bowler who could rip through opposition. Right, so these games tonight are over, and I'm sure you've been treated to some excellent entertainment. We've got some really breathtaking games coming up tomorrow as well. So if you're around in Doha and you're planning to watch T20, we'll have Maverick CC versus the Desert Lions in the first of the three encounters. Tomorrow, the second game is going to be between Fighter CC and Hurricanes. Before we talk about that, let's keep an eye on these two teams. It's been played in the right spirit. Both teams congratulating each other. Excellent camaraderie between the two sides. Going back to the games for tomorrow, as we were talking, Mavericks versus Desert Lions in the first of the games. Fighter CC taking on Hurricanes. We've got star-studded lineups in all those matches, and the last game will be played between Starling CC and Hilti CC. So if you are in Doha, don't forget to tune in, as we're in for some brilliant entertainment tomorrow. Right, so that's all we've got for you in this game, but we look forward to your company again, as we'll have mouth-watering contests coming your way. So don't forget to join us the same time, the same place. Good night for now.